Welcome back. Now, it's been described as a political twist reminiscent of the stuff seen in the epic movie script Game of Thrones. It's the reinstatement of Mohammed Sanusi as Emir of Kano by the state government of the administration of Abba Yusuf. Governor Yusuf announced the historic reinstatement right after signing the Kano State Emirate Council Bill 2024 into law. The new law replaces the Kano State Emirates Council Law 2019 and dissolves the 4 Emirate councils created by Governor Yusuf's predecessor, Abdullahi Ganduje, and gives the 4 emirs 48 hours to vacate their palaces. The affected emirates are Bichi, Karaye, Rano, and Gaya.
Guided by the provisions of the Kano State Chiefs and Emirs Appointment and Deposition Law 1984 and the Kano State Emirate Council Referral Law 2024, with full support of the Kingmakers, I have approved the reappointment of Malam Sanusi Lami popularly known as Muhammadu Sanusi II, as the new Emir of Kano. May I announce that the 5 former emirs affected by the Kano Emirates Referral Law 2024 are given 48 hours from this hour to vacate official residences, palaces, offices, and equally hand over all properties of the former emirates to the Honorable Commissioner for Local Governments and Chieftaincy Affairs, who also doubles as the Deputy Governor of Kano State.
And before the reinstatement, reinstating him as Emir of Kano, the former governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, His Royal Majesty Mohammed Sanusi II, was in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, where he was the keynote speaker on the second day of the River State Investment and Economic Summit. He emphasized the need for responsible taxation, strategic infrastructure development, and quality education as some of the key government responsibilities that are pathways to development beyond oil.
The reform of an economy, whether of a state or of the federation at large, requires difficult decisions. It involves policies that may be painful and unpopular, which don't usually go down well with politicians who need re-election. But that is the only way to guarantee a better future for the same people that might be hard on. And at this point, it's important for us as Nigerians to be realistic. The mismanagement of the last 10 years will not be undone in 6 months or 1 year. And we need to understand that some of the difficult decisions that are taken will take time to work through the economy. It will take a little while for us to see a turnaround, but those decisions are absolutely necessary in order to save the economy. We always knew we would have to go through this process if we did not change course. And we have seen this movie, seen it in Zimbabwe, seen it in Venezuela, we've seen it in Argentina, and it is a movie we do not want to be a part of. I do hope that we'll make this transition a short one and go back to economic growth. But it is the right thing to do.
Former Vice President Alhaji Atiku Abubakar says he will run for the presidency of Nigeria in the 2027 election, despite the challenges his party, the People's Democratic Party, is currently facing. Atiku has run to become Nigeria's president for 6 times within 3 decades, his most recent attempt being in the 2023 presidential election as the PDP candidate. At his last attempt, the 77-year-old got 6.9 million votes to come second in the poll won by Bola Tinubu of the All Progressives Congress, who secured 8.7 million votes. When asked whether he would try again, Atiku told the international media that, God willing, he would try again. And in another development, also signaling a return to the past, the House of Representatives has passed a bill to revert to the old national anthem titled Nigeria We Hail Thee. At the Senate, the bill, which was sponsored by its leader, Opeyemi Bamidele, enjoyed overwhelming support from the lawmakers and was quickly passed through the first, second, and third reading within minutes. Meanwhile, the Senate has referred the bill to its relevant committees after passing it through second reading. And to legal matters now, a former Minister of Aviation, Mr. Hadi Sirika, and his brother, Hamad Sirika, were arraigned before an Abuja High Court over corruption charges on Thursday. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission had filed a 10-count charge against the Sirikas for an alleged contract fraud valued at 5.4 billion naira, to which they pleaded not guilty. The EFCC alleges that the minister awarded the sums in contracts to Enginos Nigeria Limited, said to belong to his younger brother, Hamad Sirika. In the meantime, the trial of the detained Binance executive Tigran Gambarian at the Federal High Court in Abuja took a dramatic turn on Thursday as the defendant collapsed in court. At the resumed trial, Mr. Gambarian failed to enter the dock when he was called upon by the court registrar for continuation of trial, but remained seated at the back seat, prompting the trial judge, Justice Emeka Nwite, to ask after him. One of the lawyers in the defense team who sat beside Gambarian assisted him by the side while holding his hand towards the dock. But as they walked slowly to the dock, Mr. Gambarian slumped, and the lawyer helped him to sit in the front row seat. Lawyer to the defendant, Mr. Mark Modi, however, told the court that his client has been indisposed and a written application letter had been filed to notify the court about that. The Rivers State chapter of the All Progressives Congress is blaming the Rivers State government of being the cause of the political crisis in the state. The APC caretaker chairman in the state, Mr. Tony Okocha, made the allegation during what the party describes as a 1 million man peace walk for Tinubu in Port Harcourt, the state capital.
This is not purely APC event. This is renewed hope. Mr. President's family in Rivers State. To help us. This is again one of those attempts to woo him to come over to ABC and help us so that we will continue to win an election for Mr. President, particularly when an election comes for 2027.
And now to business. Despite challenges that have resulted in high production costs and demand crunch, a new report by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, has shown, among other things, that the confidence of manufacturers in the Nigerian economy improved in the second quarter of this year. MAN released its CEO's Confidence Index, MCCI, for the second quarter of 2024 on Monday, which measures changes in the pulse of operators and trends. The index moved to 54.6 points from 53.9 points in the previous quarter. The association revealed that although the business condition in the second quarter was more challenging than the previous quarter, some adjustments made by the government, manufacturers and households in response to the prevailing challenges caused the improvement in MCCI. And outside our shores, China has started 2 days of military exercises around Taiwan as strong punishment for the self-ruled island's separatist acts. The drills come 3 days after the inauguration of President William Lai, who has been called a dangerous troublemaker by Beijing. China sees Taiwan as a breakaway province that will eventually be under Beijing's control, but the island sees itself as distinct. Taiwan's defense ministry has condemned the Chinese drills as irrational provocations. And in sports, ahead of a crucial 2026 World Cup qualifier between the Super Eagles and Bafana Bafana at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo on June the 7th, Nigeria's head coach Finidi George says he knows the strengths and weaknesses of South Africa's national team. At a media briefing in Lagos on Wednesday, the 1994 Africa Cup of Nations winning winger revealed that he has picked trusted staff who will help him in his role as Super Eagles coach, including Turkish video analyst Mehmet Ozturk. Coach George also confirmed that he will announce the Super Eagles squad for the 2026 World Cup qualifying matches by this weekend.
Definitely we'll have one or two new faces, but the majority of the players will be those from the last AFCON. The league is just rounding up. We have to see those that 100%, because we're having some reports from our medical staff that some players are injured, so we have to give them some time to see if they can make the list or not. So, but I know definitely by this weekend the list will be out.
And that does it for the top stories. But what are your thoughts to some of the big stories that we're reviewing this morning?